Welcome to the Questions That Don't Matter podcast,
where you get answers you don't need.
I'm Quinn.
And I'm Amy.
Disclaimer, we apologize in advance if you believe these questions do matter.
Alright, so our first question is, what's the story behind the first tattoo?
My guess is that, well, I actually didn't really think about this, but maybe that it was like to show that you are a part of a certain group. I don't know how they decided what to use, but that is my guess.
So scientists have finally established where exactly the oldest tattoo ever drawn can be found, and it's from someone known as Iceman Otzi, and he has 61 tattoos across his whole body.
Dang.
And yeah, they're the oldest tattoos known to man. Otzi lived between 3400 and 3100 BCE. He was from Habsladjoke, which is in the Austrian and Italian border. And his tattoos were mapped in 2015 on his still mummified body.
Wow.
And they actually looked pretty good.
Oh.
Yeah. The tattoos were likely applied by puncturing the top layer of skin and rubbing in charcoal, so it's really painful. He has 61 tattoos organized into 19 different groups, and each ones are sets of either horizontal or vertical lines, so they weren't really of like anything except those lines. And it was believed that the tattoos served a therapeutic or diagnostic purpose for the Iceman. So the tattoo groupings tended to cluster around his lower back and joints, which were places where the Iceman was suffering from joint and spinal degeneration.
Wow.
Yeah, so
That's interesting. So our first question is, what animals don't have tongues? What's your guess, Amy?
I have no idea. I was gonna say bugs, but they're not really. Do bugs count as animals?
Yes.
Yeah, then certain bugs, I guess.
Well, you're correct. So according to National Geographic, some animals which don't have tongues include sea stars, sea urchins, other echinoderms, and crustaceans. Sea stars don't need tongues because they will swallow their food whole or push their stomachs out to ingest their food, so they have no use for tongues. And then insects also don't have tongues, like you said, because many of them taste with other parts of their bodies, like their feet, or like the fruit fly has taste receptors over its entire body. There are some tongues which we see on animals that aren't actually even tongues, like, moths and butterflies have those like kind of straw things, but they aren't tongues, they're just siphoning mouth parts. Snails and squids have a tongue-like organ called the radula, which is more like a ribbon of teeth, so it's not actually a tongue. One interesting fact that I found on my research on National Geographic as well is kind of the opposite of this topic, and it's about an animal with a big tongue. And that's the blue whale. Its tongue can weigh over 2.7 tons, which is heavier than an Asian elephant. Like, you don't need, like, a tongue to eat.
It's debatable.
No, it's not. I just showed you.
I mean,
told
if
you.
you're a person, like, some people need tongues.
Yeah,
well, I
I
guess
think
in
this
the Hunger
leads to-
Games, people had their tongues chopped off.
I think this leads for a question to our next podcast.
Sounds so stupid.
That's if you can eat without a tongue.
Yeah. Alright, so the next question is, how are stickers made?
I think that they get some paper and they put it on some sticky stuff. And then they print a design on it, and then they cut it or something like that. I don't know. Tell me the answer.
So I'll give you a step-by-step
All
of
right.
how it's made. But really, stickers are all about layering color and patterns. And so, first, the image is transferred to a computer and is manipulated to make the desired effect. So basically, like, the designer or the artist creates the design, the pattern, and everything.
Yeah.
And then the second step is using something called an exposure machine. And you set a sheet of polymer on the exposure machine.
Mm-hmm.
And then a technician places a negative of the art on top of the photopolymer sheet. Plastic is pulled over it all with a tube that has plastic around it. And then you close the machine's lid. And a vacuum inside the machine pulls the negative to the photopolymer, and an intense UV light transfers the image to the photopolymer in seconds.
Wow.
There's that. And then next, several photopolymer printing plates are made, each a variation of the original artwork.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, they're all different colors, just to layer them.
Oh.
And to make art stand out from the background, a machine removes the material surrounding the transferred image using a special chemical and heavy-duty brush, and the process leaves the images slightly raised against a clear backdrop, so you'll know which stickers are stickers, essentially. And then using a printing press, you take printing plates wrapped around cylinders, and then the cylinders are loaded into the printing press, and a colored ink is poured into the reservoir below the printing press, which a different color is used for each printing plate to create variations in the design. And then the printing press is rolled, and adhesive back sticker paper is printed onto it.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's very involved.
Yep. And then you take a cutting cylinder.
Oh. It doesn't stop there.
Yeah, and it cuts around the design and only penetrates the top.
The top what?
The top layer of the sticker paper.
Uh-huh.
And then rollers pull off the surrounding material.
Mm.
And then another press hot stamps foil onto the designs, giving certain stickers like a metallic finish.
Wow.
And then the machine cuts the stickers into sheets. And then it got into like the packaging for it, which I didn't think was that interesting for this.
That's cool. So our final question for the day is, can you die from a hickey? What do you think the answer is, Amy?
Yes. You already told me about this. So yeah.
Yes, you are correct. Now, I'll just start off giving a brief definition of a hickey. This is from Cosmopolitan. Hickeys are basically bruises that occur when one person sucks on another person's skin until small blood vessels burst. And now, since we have the definition, we can move on to the real question, which is, yes, you can die from a hickey. This is an article from Time magazine. So hickeys are rarely ever dangerous, but there have been cases where one guy has died from a hickey. In 2016, a 17-year-old boy died because the hickey created a blood clot and traveled to his brain, which caused a fatal stroke. But this is at least the second report of a case like this. A woman in New Zealand had a non-fatal stroke from a hickey in 2010. This is very infrequent and has been described in New Zealand's medical journal as a rare phenomenon. So don't worry too much when you're giving or receiving a love bite. Thank you for listening to our podcast, Questions That Don't Matter.
They say you learn a new thing every day. Well, with this podcast, you'll learn 4 new, useless things every 4 weeks or so. Stay tuned for more. Thanks for the support.
This has been Quinn
and Amy
on Questions That Don't Matter.